"Belay that last order!" Krauser shouted. "There is a survivor! Slow ahead and bring us as close as you can. I will not leave that man to be fish food." The diesel engine shuddered into life once more, and the submarine slowly pushed towards the flailing man. His motions were already slowing noticeably from the cold, and Krauser knew that there could only be a short time before he succumbed to the sudden temperature drop. The man had managed to catch hold of a piece of driftwood and lay still, hanging from it in the water. Krauser gritted his teeth as the submarine moved closer. They were only 30 meters from him by now. He shouted out to the man, "Hello down there!" The man raised his head, but gave no other signal that he had heard, and remained silent. Krauser tried calling out to the man in English. He knew no Norwegian, but was sure he remembered hearing from a fellow captain that most of the Scandinavian countries spoke English as a second language. He had joked that they spoke it even better than the English did themselves. "Are you able to swim to us? We have food and medical supplies and will arrange for your delivery home once we return to Germany." The man nodded and began to kick his legs in the water, propelling his small piece of driftwood toward the U-616. Kleiner hurried to his captain's side with a length of rope, looped to act as an improvised lifesaver. As the man got within 20 meters of the submarine, Kleiner spun and threw it out to rest in the water. "We have Roy Rogers on board," joked Krauser under his breath. Kleiner gave a wry smile, acknowledging the joke, but still terrified for the man, and of the shark that, for all they knew, still loitered in the area, patrolling its home. The man reached the lasso and pulled the heavy wet rope over his head and slid an arm through, gripping it tightly. Kleiner and another of the men began to reel the survivor aboard. After what seemed like an age, the man, dripping cold, salty water, finally clambered up onto the deck. Krauser extended a hand. "Welcome aboard the U-616. I am Captain August Krauser, and I wish to offer you our hospitality." The man shivered and accepted the proffered handshake. "Dahlen, Arild Dahlen." They were interrupted by a massive metallic collision sound from the direction of the Freyr. The 2,000-ton freighter was rocking back and forth in the water, sending waves spreading out and in their direction. The submarine was far enough out to avoid being tossed around, but the water still lapped up and over the wooden deck in places. Krauser wondered if the Freyr could have been unfortunate enough to have hit a rock, or perhaps even a sea mine, as it sank. The Norwegian man joined them in staring out over the water. "Captain Krauser, I strongly advise that you get your ship out of this area as fast as you can." Krauser met his gaze, and something unspoken passed between the two men. "I intend to do just that, Mr. Dahlen. Mr. Kleiner, I will escort Mr. Dahlen to Dr. Arnold. Please see that we move out as fast as possible." Krauser guided Dahlen back down the deck to the entrance hatch. "You saw it, then?" asked the Norwegian. "I don't fear sharks, Mr. Dahlen. I fear reports of your sinking reaching the British Navy or Air Force, and them launching their own missions to sink us in return." Dahlen stopped walking and turned to the captain. "What do you mean?" Krauser grimaced, remembering that he had just killed several of this man's friends. "It was nothing personal on our part, Mr. Dahlen, but we are under orders to sink as many cargo vessels bound for Britain as we can. As we are responsible for the torpedo strike which sank your vessel, we can expect retaliation. As such, I intend to be long gone from the area before that happens." The Norwegian half smiled to himself and stepped closer to the captain. Krauser's hand went to his Mauser, lest the man was about to attempt a misguided escape effort. Dahlen's eyes flickered to the gun, and he stopped, but did not back away. Instead, cocking his head, he whispered, "You think you sank the ship?"